Morning traders, John here from Trade and Train with this week's FX overview. It's the 20th of June 2018, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the trade wars and how it's affected the markets. Now on Tuesday we had a little bit of surprise in the market where Trump came out again discussing the tariffs with China and the fact that they may be charging, taxing every product coming from China and in the near future. So how did that affect the market essentially? So we woke up and there was a couple of gaps in the market, nothing too crazy, but we saw a significant down day in the S&P, especially on Tuesday. So looking to yesterday, there was a good near 2% drop on the S&P yesterday. We are still in that small uptrend kind of wedge pattern at the moment, which seems to be continuing to play out at the moment currently. Again, we're at this area of resistance on the S&P as well, around this 2,800 area, 2,790s. So I think if we see any kind of break above previous highs in and around these areas here, we should be seeing the market come back to those all-time highs around this 2,870 area up in here before we saw that big move to the downside. So again, keeping our eyes peeled on this, it's still in that uptrend scenario. I don't want to be buying it right now because we have that resistance. The areas for to buy were down in here and over here. Right now it's no more buying, it's just more management. But price came down into these previous structure highs and bounced straight up and closed above anyway, showing that there's still buyers active in this market through here. So it's just a great opportunity to grab some potential trading opportunities down in there for the S&P. So what next really? Again, just reiterating what I've already said, a nice break above the highs over here to the left hand side, pull back in, and then we can look for trading opportunities up into that area. Now what usually happens is with trade wars, we see the indexes sell off and the dollar strengthens, right? So if we go to the dollar index and we look across the board at dollar in general, we saw a nice boost up in the dollar from that trade war coming along, because essentially it's just affecting how US is going to go about its business and whatnot. Usually in trade wars through history, you can see that the dollar gains a little bit of strength through that, and it's kind of following the trend anyway. The market is still moving high. If we go to the weekly chart, the higher time frame, you can see that we were in a majority of a downtrend through 2017. Bottomed out early 2018, it started to move its way back up again. I think, if we break these highs, we're going to see that continuation to the upside. So with regards to the trade wars, we need to be a little bit careful because we can see these shock announcements and huge moves in the markets. If we go down to euro dollar, again, there was some small gapping. It wasn't horrendous, but again, there was some small gapping around there, and we saw further dollar strength enter the markets. We already saw a huge move from the ECB anyway on the 14th of June. So again, at the moment, we're at this kind of support area where the dollar index is holding on that resistance just through here. So going forward, I think we're going to see a little bit more dollar strength continue, just because we're above these resistance areas right now. Ideally we'd like to see pullback, so pound still, think there's a little bit more downside in the pound, dollar as well, euro, how's Aussie. Commodity currencies got really affected by the trade war announcement, or the kind of shock to Trump announcing that we were going to see some more tariffs and whatnot. And we've seen a little bit of move in the Australian dollar. Again, it was quite a decent move on Tuesday. continuing to the downside. You know, we've been in a downtrend for a significant amount of time. We had a nice pullback into this resistance and resistance trend line. Nice 38.2 Fibonacci. Lots of confluence adding up to this area through here, and then we saw that breakdown in the market. So I think we're going to see continuation of the dollar strength. Again, New Zealand US dollar had a nice breakdown back into weekly lows, and then again a nice push down to the downside. So you can see dollar strength is fairly evident through here. You know, the weekly time frame on dollar CAD, nice higher highs, higher lows, nice uptrend. You know, only be looking for buying opportunities, and yet we saw a nice break out of that 131 area into these 133s now, where I think we might see a little bit of a relief in the market just there. Dollar Swiss, again, seeing some move to the upside, some significant dollar strength coming into this market now. We just go to the weekly. Looks like it's going to be a continuation from this support back up into kind of parity area. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen's a little bit interesting to me at the moment. I think they're both fighting for a little bit of strength, the dollar and the yen separately. If we look at what's kind of occurring right now on dollar yen, technically we can see that the market has broken into a potential change in trend. The retracement candles have been quite flat, no real buyers surging the market back up. So again, this was around the time where Trump was talking about a trade war, and we saw that little bit of a boost in the US dollar, but now we're kind of seeing that area being tested again. So are we going to see a push down in this market? We go back to the daily chart. The daily's still in a slight uptrend. I'm not too fussed about this, to be honest. I think we could push a little bit lower, just from a technical point of view. We've been a bit flat through here, and looking across the majority of the yen pairs, they saw some real movements yesterday, especially. So I think looking towards the safe haven currencies could be some good trading opportunities. Gold also saw a decent amount of movement on Tuesday. We kind of stuck around this 1300 level for a while. We broke out the range that it'd been in for so long, and then retested again. Nice area of resistance at 1300. Even came up into the 1310s, and then we broke through this counter trend line, and the market seems to be moving lower. So again, we've got that nice trending environment now for potential shorting opportunities to continue. So I'll be looking for any kind of pullbacks down into that 1240 area through there. Okay, so this has been today's FX overview. Catch you in the next one.